Most real estate strategies are built around one payday. You buy, you sell, you get paid one time. But what if a single deal could pay you upfront, monthly, and again at the exit without using any of your own cash, credit, or a bank? Well, that's what we have for you today, guys. In this episode, Zachary Beach breaks down a different way of thinking about deals. One that flips the traditional model on its head and opens the door to opportunities that most investors never see. So welcome back to the DealMachine podcast, where we help you get more out of your wholesaling business by showing you what's working around the country. Let's get into the episode.
Today, we're going to talk about the secrets to creating 3 paydays per deal without cash, credit, or banks. So I want to share with you guys just a couple things today. By the end of today, we're going to have 3 ways to buy on terms, where to find deals, how to sell to an untapped market, and our 3 paydays framework. All right, as we jump in here, we all know that there's an old way of buying real estate. And I have actually operated an old way of buying real estate previously. But I know that a lot of us are still operating in the old way of buying real estate. But the old way of investing really gets you one payday, right? This could be something as simple as rental properties, right? We're only going to get paid on the cash flow. It could be rehabs and fixing flips, right? We're only going to get paid when we exit. It could be wholesaling, which means we're only going to get paid once we assign that contract. The truth is there is a lot of risks and challenges associated with buying real estate the old way. And as I mentioned, this isn't for me to drastically change your point of view when it comes to doing what you're currently doing. What I want to share with you is there may be a better way, or there may be an opportunity for you to add what I'm going to talk about here today to your current strategies, so that way you can create a more diversified portfolio. Because I know everybody on here would agree. If you're using any of those other strategies, some risks and challenges could be you're personally signing and guaranteeing on loans. You can type in the chat if you currently are, because I know if you have been an investor for a long period of time and you're not using the strategies I'm talking about here today, then you're personally guaranteeing a lot of loans. Using your own money for down payments, right? Challenge, you're not protecting your wealth anymore because it's in these deals, and in case the deal falls apart, then we've now risked our own money. Or even more importantly, if we are counting on just our own capital or our own money that we make every year, it significantly limits your ability to grow and scale your portfolio. Like, how many of us have 20% downs every single time we go buy a deal? Like, how often can we do that? We eventually run out of our own sustained capital, right? Or using investor money. I know when I first got started, I just wasn't comfortable enough of raising capital at that point because I needed to fine-tune my skills. So raising your own capital, or you need money for maintenance and upgrades, or hiring contractors or small checks. Each and every one of us that has participated in this old way of doing things knows exactly what I'm talking about. But the other interesting thing is, when you're doing the old way, you end up having a zero-sum game. If you're doing a wholesale deal, and you're able to get the seller to come way down on their price, then who wins? Of course you do. If you overpay for a property to a seller, then who wins? Well, the seller does. What I'm suggesting is that there's other ways in order to create multiple wins for every single person with the strategies that I'm talking about here today. So let me share with you how to bridge the gap here, because there's a new way of investing in real estate, and that's utilizing the 3 payday system. And that comes like this. It means that we're not going to use banks. We're not going to use large down payments. We're not going to personally sign or guarantee debt. The 3 strategies end up being owner financing and subject to the existing loan and lease purchases. So let me just share with you what owner financing is. So owner financing is simply when you go and you purchase the property and the seller is your bank. If you look at like a pure seller financing deals, so we can kind of draw a line in the sand. These are typically free and clear owners, right? That means that they have no debt on the property. And then instead of you going to get a bank loan in order to buy that property, you just draw up an agreement with the seller, you close on it, and now the seller is going to receive monthly payments to you just like the bank would. Let me share with you a second strategy. The second strategy is buying the property subject to the existing loan. So think about this as almost like the opposite of seller financing. This would typically be Like, so if you're on DealMachine right now, right, and you're searching through and you're now looking for highly leveraged, very little equity in the homes, if not any. You would then speak with the seller, you would then close on this property, and instead of going to get a new loan from a bank, you would then just keep the existing loan in place, and now you are contractually obligated to continue to make that payment. Why is this so important? It's because there's roughly 65% of loans out there that are a 6% interest rate or less across the United States. And it could be fluctuating even higher at this point, which means that there's lots and lots of really good loans out there. But if you go get another loan, this property is no longer profitable. So you use this strategy to help those as well. So instead of get that new loan, you keep it in place, and then you just make payments on that other loan. A third strategy that I'll share with you guys here today, as far as purchasing, is known as a lease purchase. So if you can't buy the property using seller financing or subject to, then we might as well control the property. So what a lease purchase agreement allows you to do is allows you to agree upon a price, agree upon a monthly payment, agree upon a time frame, and then you simply control that property, and now it gives you the ability to go ahead and sell it. And again, I'll share with you how we create these 3 paydays in a minute. So you must be wondering, okay, well, if these three strategies work so well, right, that's their only marketing, that's an awesome opportunity. Pre-foreclosures, distress. So once we find a property, and this is where the mindset shifted for me. Once we find the property, it's about solving a problem. We are in the people business. We just happen to buy real estate. So each and every one of these, is once we find the seller, we need to agree upon terms. And terms are simply the ability to solve problems that most people either choose not to or don't have the skill set or the ability to. Because creative financing is just as much a skill set as it is a real estate investment strategy. So what are some problems that we can solve? Well, by agreeing on terms, you can solve debt, right? People can't make mortgage payments. You could solve job relocation. People don't want to carry 2 properties. You can handle military relocation. Other personal reasons like death, divorce, right? Things of that sort. Or even maximizing price. I can tell you that within these strategies, we could pay at or above market and still be extremely profitable. So if you're sick and tired of like getting on the phone and negotiating and trying to beat somebody down their price, this is another ability for you to be able to now get more deals. What's interesting is I approach a lot of people that are in other strategies, and I love it because we complement each other. But I know that when somebody's prospecting for some of those other strategies, that there's a very small amount of deals that they acquire compared to the amount of leads that are driven. So wouldn't it be amazing if you had an alternative solution if somebody says no to the original offer, right? You're like, okay, Mr. Seller, right? I can offer you cash at this price, or I can offer you another solution, maybe seller financing, at a much bigger price. And now we can simply be able to help you generate more deals in a shorter period of time without maxing out or increasing your marketing budget, which I know a majority of you guys are, or increasing more time that you have to drive around or look at leads. I want you to have another tool in your tool belt. Okay, but here's the cool part, right? So we found the seller. We now agreed upon the terms. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Now, instead of renting it, instead of flipping it, instead of wholesaling it and assigning it, we're now going to sell it on rent to own. Why do we want to sell it on rent to own? Because there's a huge portion of buyers out there that most investors either neglect, right? Or don't know how to work with. We're talking about the self-employed, the people that had a legitimate hiccup in their credit, or the job change, or start a new business. What's interesting is roughly 82% of the market cannot walk into a bank and get a loan. Picture this. 10 people walk into a bank, just about 2 people can walk out with a loan. So what do we do with that, right? Any good business model is serve an underserved audience. So this giant group of people is the reason why we can create multiple streams of income. I'm going to share the framework here in a minute. Multiple streams of income by simply selling it to a different group of people. We add value by changing the way we sell it instead of adding value by, doing a rehab or improving the bones of the property. So where do we then find these sellers? Simply local signs, right? We're on 52 major online platforms. Once we have it under agreement, we market to them on rent to own, all of your local network. Because what this simply does is creates a win-win-win ecosystem, right? We solve the seller's problem by helping them, by buying it creatively, and we're able to help them solve that problem. Then we went ahead and we served an underserved audience. So we sold it to a buyer that couldn't walk into a bank and get a loan tomorrow. So that creates another win. And then all of a sudden now you win as the real estate investor. So let's walk you guys through now how you win on this deal. Okay, so we bought the property for a certain price, a certain monthly payment, and a certain time frame. Let's just use those as our 3 simple terms. We then sold it to a buyer that can't qualify for a bank loan at a higher price, a higher monthly payment, and a certain time frame. So what then happens is before this buyer can move into the property, they're going to give us a large non-refundable deposit. And as you saw in some of those case studies, those deposits tend to equal somewhere between 3 and 10% of an elevated purchase price. So this is putting money in your pocket day one. It's non-refundable, right? So it goes right to HIP National Bank. That's your bank or your pocket, if you missed that, right? You get to take some profits off the table day one, which is risk averse when it comes to real estate or investing strategy. But we also are not killing the deal either, where we're getting rid of it. So we get a large non-refundable deposit. And then during the term, while the buyer is working towards becoming mortgage ready, which we set all of that up at the beginning before we select that buyer, we are now creating monthly cash flow because the buyer is going to pay us, and then we're going to pay the expenses on the original expenses we agreed to on the property, and now we're going to create cash flow. This is as passive as you can possibly get because the buyer is going to act like and be treated like a homeowner. So we already received money today. Now we're going to receive money monthly. And then at some point in time, this buyer is going to eventually go become mortgage ready because they've been working on their credit or they're self-employed and they're showing a certain amount of money, for example. They eventually go get their own loan. And at that point in time, they are then going to cash us out. And then we're going to cash out the original agreement with the seller. So we get paid today, we get paid over time, and then we get paid at the final sale as well. This is where things get really fun because you start creating predictability in your deal flow and then your profits. And each time that you go do another deal, you're stacking that deal on top of the other one. And it's not that you have to go chase the next deal because eventually you can step off the treadmill if you so choose to. So full disclosure, these are just our personal in-house numbers, and I'll share with you some averages across our community. Up here in Massachusetts, we're generating roughly $27,000 as our non-refundable deposits. We're creating roughly $300 per month per property. And then we're getting roughly $35,000. Again, these are averages. $35,000 at cash out. Across our community, we average somewhere between $45,000 to $350,000 per deal when it comes to those profits. And I want to zoom out a little bit too. But what does that look like when you do a portfolio? I just gave you a snapshot here. This is 12 months. These are all 3 of the strategies when it comes to acquisition, and this is just rent-to-own deals. What happened is during this portfolio, it's roughly 20 deals. We created roughly $600,000 in non-refundable deposits, which is collected upfront and over time. We're collecting $6,500 in cash flow on that per month. And we're collecting, and then now we have predictable income when these are going to cash out because now we have projected $822,000 of when these deals cash out. And these deals usually last somewhere between 2 and 4 years. So it's roughly $1.6 million.
Thanks for listening to the DealMachine Real Estate Investing Podcast. Please leave us a review and follow along wherever you're listening to your podcast.